Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the adjustment card. It may be right now is a good time for you to think about the balance of your life. Everything that you're spending your resources on, right? How are they kind of weighing out against each other, you know? How are we allocating our time, effort, energy, money, space? Where do we need to be more discerning? Where do we need to make some adjustments? Where do we need to rebalance things? Okay. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. Oh, maybe we're making room for a little bit of love. Maybe you need a little more joy in your life, and so we need to balance things out so you have more time to have fun. Yeah. We have a 9 of Pentacles. We have a Magician. We've got a 10 of Swords and a 9 of Swords. Yeah. I feel like you need to make a little bit of room for the good stuff, okay? Otherwise, if the way things have been going, I feel like it's going to lead to a little bit of, sadness. Maybe this is not unhappiness, right? But we have a 2 of Pentacles. We're able to shift things, balance things out. 5 of Swords, 6 of Wands, and a Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is literally all water, okay? So it's kind of like even saying maybe that you need to really overindulge in that water energy. You need to go hard with the rest and the relaxation and the love and the self-care and the compassion and the connections, okay? Because sometimes if the pendulum has swung too far one direction, it's going to go all the way to the extreme opposite direction, yeah? I think what we are looking for, though, is the balance. And I think some things are going to have to end in your life in order for sort of new things to have room, okay? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set this down right over here with Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments down below. Now, let's look around the room. Major, major. 2 majors. Okay, we have the Magician and the Adjustment. We've got a little bit of fire. And see, the fire even now, the fire's in the position of the fear, worry, concern. The fire is in the position of what we don't want. The fire is kind of what we're scared of right now. And it's a card of victory. So I feel like what you're really afraid of is losing the battle or losing some progress or backsliding or like leaving money on the table because you're spending some time, with love, with the water energy. That you're maybe afraid you're going to miss out on some win or some victory, okay? I feel like you can't get the win unless we have a more balanced approach to what you're doing right now, because you have the 10 and the 9 here. These are these are not going to make you happy. The 9 of Swords is a misery multiplier. It's even saying no matter how many wins you get, you're still not going to be happy until we make some adjustments. Yeah. So we got fire. We've got water and water, air, air, and air. And then you got earth and earth. Okay, so we're going to start with our Libra energy, the adjustment card. Balance. Things are out of whack. We've got to bring them back in whack. Some of you might be trying to make some decisions in your life. You know, we want to be fair. And I think that whatever's going on in your life, you have to make a decision that's fair to you. Fair to everybody else? Sure, yeah. What's fair to you? Use this card as your higher self perspective. What choice is the future you already celebrating? Especially when we get a queen in this position, the queens are looking at the past. So this is the future you, looking back at what would be the past, i.e. right now. Okay, how is she feeling? Is she happy? Is she celebrating? He or she, and it's not gender specific. It's a queen, the figure's a female. Are they celebrating? Your choice. Okay. The higher self perspective. What is the future you going to be celebrating? What choice? You have to be truthful. You have to be very honest with yourself about what's important to you. And maybe right now you don't care about the competition. Maybe you don't care about winning. Maybe you're looking at all the fights of life, all the competition as just being like, even if I win, I don't win. You want something else maybe, okay? But you got to keep it simple, and you got to be honest, okay? Fix one area of your life that feels like it's out of balance, out of whack, or out of control. Clear your space. Order in your life is going to bring order to your internal life as well. Treat other people with kindness, even when you disagree with them. Fairness and honesty are going to guide your choices. Being honest with yourself, being fair to yourself. Okay? And now, this seems to be what is really going to benefit you right now in your life, and this is love. This is new love. This is receiving love. I feel like your life is going to be a lot better. I kind of feel like you're making some new rules for yourself. You know, this is a wave of love entering your life. This is you saying yes, right? The choices, the higher wisdom and discernment, the real-time value judgments. Do I like that? Do I want that? Is that good for me? No? Well, then get the heck out of here. You're saying yes to people, projects, things, places, ideas that make you feel peaceful, make you feel love, make you feel joy. Blessings are incoming. Something finds you because you're ready to receive it. Because when it arrives, you will place the appropriate value on it, and you will choose it. No more choosing the wrong things out of deference for other people or deference for what you think you're supposed to be doing or anything like that. Your heart feels open. Yeah. You're expressing gratitude. More gratitude's coming in. You're making yourself happy. There are new rules. The adjustment card is kind of like the judge. And I think that you got some new rules for yourself about the way you're choosing anything in life. And we have to be careful that this pendulum doesn't swing to the exact opposite extreme and you're just choosing things that feel good. You know, because then we kind of run into a little bit of Princess of Cups territory. If it feels good, do it. If it feels bad, don't do it. No, this has to be higher wisdom and discernment. Okay? Do something creative. Do something that fills you with joy. You have no idea how happy you'll be. Aligned action feels clean. This is you taking one step, at least one, the first step that honors your values. The heart, the cups are the values, the swords are the beliefs. You're choosing values over your beliefs. You're choosing values over a paradigm, a mindset, over a worldview. You're choosing your heart. What does your heart really value? I could believe all sorts of things, but then it's like, wait, how do I feel about that? You know, you're opening up the heart. You're trusting that heart energy. Spend time near water, physically, literally, or a water sign person. Okay? Stay balanced. Love and beauty and happiness are really starting to flow into your life, and you're choosing love. You're choosing happiness. You're choosing well-being. You're choosing self-care. You're choosing the values. You're choosing those things that you value. You're saying, I value that, and I'm choosing that. Okay? Now, under the surface, we've got a very, very good-looking 9 of Pentacles, the card of gain. This is the card, really, of progress, maybe in the physical realm. Okay, this is good news for money, for home, for health, okay? This is the fruit of your labor. Let's make sure that you're enjoying this, that you're choosing to be happy. You're choosing the practice of love. This is you enjoying the comfort that your effort has produced, taking pride in your self-sufficiency and your independence, but don't isolate yourself. To me, this feels like you're upgrading. It's an upgrade moment. You're raising your standard. You're acknowledging your values. And so you're raising your threshold of what gets to enter your life, what you say yes to, higher wisdom and discernment, things you're choosing. Raising the standard, raising the threshold, raising the bar for everything. And you're going to watch your life rise up to meet that new standard. Because only your life's going to get better. Why? Because only the things that can actually get over the bar are going to reach your inner circle. Okay, so you're improving the quality of your life in a very major way. Treat yourself, treat others that you care about. This is, to me, feels like everything's gaining in quality and quantity. You're going to have more of the good stuff, more of the stuff that you value. Because there's less of everything else. Everything else is falling away. Be kind to the people that you care about. Okay, you got to share your energy, share your abundance. Gratitude and generosity attract more gratitude and generosity coming in this way. More good fortune, okay? More happiness. More gain. This is now a balanced life, a 9, right? This is abundance and progress on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. Every dimension of your life is progressing, and you're noticing that, the visible signs of progress. And what I'm kind of seeing here, because this is the card under the surface, this is inside of you, it feels as if your external world has been progressing just fine. But it's that sort of personal world. Maybe this is a work-life balance. Maybe this is kind of private, versus professional life. Maybe this is your work life and your love life, or your family versus your career, your business, or whatever it might be, internal, external. I feel like the external stuff has been developing nicely, but there's some kind of private energy or internal world that needs to also see progress. So I feel like this is a focus on things that you value so that you can grow certain things, cultivating your internal garden or your private personal garden at home rather than the public garden that everybody gets to partake in. Does that make sense? And the magician, of course, is sort of responsible for all of this. The magician is able to adapt to the external world by changing who we are in order to conform to the world around us. It's the card of the persona. But just because you can adapt to any conditions, we're very adaptable beings, right? You put us in any place on the planet, and even in outer space, we'll figure out a way to survive, But just because you can doesn't mean you should. So where in your life have you been adapting to something when what you could be doing is trading it in for something better? That you've just been tolerating. It's like terrible conditions, but you're human, you can adapt, you can survive, and there you're fine. It's like you could, someone could dump you on a desert island with nothing, and you could, build a civilization, have a thriving metropolis, right? You could. Or, you could be somewhere that you might favor more, that you might value more. I mean, there's value in that. Maybe that's a bad example. What are the conditions of your life that you're adapting to when what your heart really wants is for you to change that? Because see, this is now like that contestant on that game show on the Food Network, Chopped, where they get that basket of ingredients. And you've got to use everything in the basket to cook a meal. Okay? And it's weird stuff. And you can do that. But you can also use everything in the Chopped pantry and fridge to augment that. Okay? So you don't have to, because that's the magician energy. Wherever you are in your life, you can look around and say, this is what I'll use. Whatever this is, I can figure out a way to put it together. I can optimize my environment. Or you can change your environment. Okay? And this is the card of causing change. Knowing that whatever your life is right now, you have to change, but so does the environment. But if things are out of balance, that means that you've been changing too much and the environment hasn't been changing enough. Or we could look at it the other way and say the world around you is growing, but there's some aspect of you that you've been neglecting that isn't growing. You see what I mean? And we can look at it both ways, kind of means the same. That you've been molding and shaping yourself to give the environment what it needs. But there hasn't been that kind of return. I almost feel like there's been a lack of reciprocity here. The balance between adapting to the environment and changing the environment. Okay? And in a perfectly balanced alchemical world, you change and so does the environment. Or the situation. I just mean, the situation or other people or whatever you're doing or, And there has to be that kind of balance. You have everything that you need to restore that balance. You need to speak up. You need to use your words. Okay? Stay focused on that balance. Don't let anybody sort of, try to knock you off balance. Use your energy to restore the balance. Don't just talk about it. Just do it. Feel it. Your confidence here is going to be very crucial. Yeah. Now you have a 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is a bird cage. 10 of Swords is an environment that you have to adapt to. You're a bird in a cage. And you've got to adapt to life in the bird cage. Or you can change the environment. In other words, you can get out of the bird cage. So the 10 of Swords represents anything in your life that you feel is holding you back from becoming the person, from growing, internal growth, from growing into the person you want to be. This is a dry and desiccated thing. There's no more juice here. There's no more nourishment here. Something has overstayed its welcome. Something is finally ready to end. You've reached the end of the juice there. You've squeezed the orange. There's nothing left in it. Closure comes from you. You decide when to leave, when to say, I'm done adapting to this. I need to change this. You're changing the environment by what? Walking to a better environment. You don't like that restaurant. Okay, I'm just going to adapt. I'm going to find something on this menu that I want to eat, and I'll adapt. Okay? Or you could say, I'm getting up and I'm walking out. I'm going to go to a different restaurant. You're changing the environment, by getting up and walking out of it to a different one. Okay? This is you realizing what things have become sort of meaningless. In other words, there's no water here, right? It's a dry hole, dry and desiccated. No water. These are things that you're continuing to do or think or feel or believe or participate in or interact with or accept or welcome or embrace that you don't value. Why would you do that? It's habit, because it's a bird cage and we've adapted to it. I think you're beginning to recognize that this is out of balance. There's something out of whack here. The ending here is becoming a new beginning. I feel like you're able to laugh at this almost. I say, gosh, this is silly. Why would I do this? This is meaningless, pointless. The tips of all the swords have been broken off. All the swords here are pointless. This is maybe a worldview. It's a set of beliefs. It is, it's a mindset. It's a paradigm. It's pointless. You don't care about this stuff. This is just the bones, just fish bones. There's no meat on them anymore, There's all the things that you're holding on to that you really, in your heart of hearts, you don't care about it anymore. Why are you continuing to conform your energy to it? Rather than just getting up and walking away from it, getting out of the bird cage, discarding those things or whatever you might need to do. The Nine of Swords is I think, a potential future, and this is a misery multiplier. This is sleepless nights. This is energy being drained away from you. Okay? You've got to be gentle with yourself. You have to open up your heart in this way. By opening up the heart, what you're doing is you are transforming the Nine of Swords into the Nine of Cups. Okay? You're being very gentle with yourself. You are making a plan, breathing through it, right? And your anxiety will mellow. Don't be critical of yourself. Don't be unkind to yourself. Avoid self-criticism. Treat yourself with respect. Okay, this is kind of, this is the card that says we're waking up to that reality, to the realization that we've been in a birdcage. This is that moment where we wake up. It's a painful realization. Oh, crap, I'm in a birdcage. Okay, well, that's the first step toward making a plan of action to get the heck out of the birdcage. It's a blessing that we experience a Nine of Swords. It's not fun. It hurts. It's painful. But it's a realization that is, really, it's kind of like it resets us to zero. Okay, now I need to take that first step. I need to get out of here. Of course, we're getting a Two of Pentacles. Okay. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Okay. And don't forget to find me on Patreon as well. Okay. Now, your general energy is the Two of Pentacles. Change. Life might feel very busy right now. You're trying to balance the old and the new. I feel like this is a card of transitioning out of something into the new way of doing things, into the new life. Okay? It's a busy time. It's a transition. Okay? I don't think getting out of the birdcage happens overnight. I think you're juggling a lot of things. I feel like you're breaking old patterns and you're creating new ones. You're kind of finding the balance. You're finding the flow. You're finding the rhythm of your life. You're changing your life. You're choosing different things. Normally you choose this all the time. Always, it's kind of habitual. I always choose that. Every time something comes up, I choose that, always. You're struggling now to choose the opposite thing, choose the other thing, the thing that resonates with you the most. And I think a lot of the time, we will just find ourselves habitually choosing the old thing again, and we say, wait a minute, I was gonna choose something else. But I've already ordered off the menu before I even knew what I was doing. It's habit. And we're all slaves to habit. It takes tremendous effort to even identify a habit and begin to choose something else. To begin to transform. Okay. We're shifting something here. And I think we're striving for balance. And we're finding our rhythm, finding our cadence. Yeah. Stay adaptable and stay flexible, but strive toward, being the change, I guess, that you want to see. Okay? Embodying that. Now, you got a 5 of Swords here in the environment. In terms of your relationships, Taurus, I think that there's been a lot of arguments, there's been a lot of competition, there's been a lot of confusion, a lot of questions, a lot of just tension, friction. I feel like you're trying to avoid all that stuff now. You're trying to do a little sidestep around that 5 of Swords. Letting go of those unnecessary conflicts or arguments. Avoiding arguments that even if you win, you don't really win. Let it go. Someone in your life may be acting very unfairly. Adjustment card, right? Fairness. You might feel that life hasn't been treating you very fair. It may be unfair that you have to adapt to this really crappy situation. Instead of getting upset about that or kind of matching that behavior, walk away. Change the environment. Yeah, literally, maybe like just leave for a while. You know what I mean? You don't have to match the behavior of the people around you that are acting so unfairly toward you. But it's the instinct. So we're going to restore the balance by, I want to be just as mean to you. I got to get back at you so the balance of power or whatever gets restored. But that's not the kind of choice we're talking about here. Okay, you don't have to match their behavior. What is it that you know for sure right now about what you want? Your actions need to match your words. I think you're noticing how other people, they say a lot, they talk a lot, but you're watching their feet. The feet don't lie. Okay? The actions aren't matching the words for someone. And I don't know what relationship this is talking about for you. I'm sure you know. But it's somebody that talks a lot, but then when you watch their behavior, there's a mismatch. So I feel like there's someone that you're not trusting them anymore. And I don't think you're going to. I think you're choosing you. You're choosing what's going to be good for you. And it may be that you have to accept a smaller loss in order to either maybe prevent a bigger loss or to actually get the win. You're not going to win by matching the behavior. You're going to win by sort of, rising above this situation. And certainly don't compete against anybody else. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Okay? Because what does that do? When we're in a bad situation, we say, well, There are people around the world that have it way worse than I do. So now I'm convincing myself to stay in my bad situation, but again, I also feel guilty now for feeling bad about my situation because there are people all over the world that have it worse than I do. So we're kind of doubling down on our own cruelty to ourselves. That's what this card is. Don't do that to yourself. Okay? If you don't like your situation, change it. Change yourself, change your situation, change you. Don't compare yourself to anybody else and say, well, I should just adapt to this situation because somebody else has it way worse, so I shouldn't complain. No, maybe you shouldn't complain, but you should definitely do something else. You deserve the very best life of which you're capable of creating. You're the magician after all, Taurus. You're the magic maker. Walk away from anything that wastes your energy. Learn from your mistakes. Protect your peace and go forward. Okay. Now, a Six of Wands here as well. I want to do one thing for you before we get started. What should we do? Let's do a Language of Flowers affirmation card. Adaptation, huh? Change will be better than you think. Yes, it will. Adaptation, okay? Changing you, changing your environment, changing your response to the world, changing the world around you. Adaptation, that's exactly what we've been talking. That's crazy. That's right on the money. Abso-freaking-lutely here. So the Six of Wands, anyway, it's victory. Success. You're overcoming, you're transcending that situation. And maybe it really is just about you walking away from something. That's the win. Victory is simple. You do the brave thing. And you keep doing it until you feel like the door is open and you're out here swimming now in freedom, free emotional freedom. Celebrate that win. Be proud of yourself for walking away from something. It's easy to just get down and dirty and sink as low as everybody else. It takes real guts, real courage to overcome that. Be confident here. Encourage yourself to do this. Motivate yourself. Okay? And I don't think you're doing it. You don't want any kind of approval. I don't feel like you're someone that likes to be like noticed or like called out. It's like you're going to do the very courageous and very brave thing, but you don't want anybody to like clap for you, you know, or say anything or make a big to-do about it. No, I'm just going to do it and I don't want to talk about it. I think you need to be proud of yourself. I think that you're getting the win. And it's not the kind of win that you think. I mean, this isn't just like I fought and they lost and I won. No, I feel like you're getting the real win, and I feel like it's a transcendence. Okay? The Queen of Cups is processing and ending. So first of all, it's going to be a lot of mixed emotions. This is double water. There's going to be a lot of emotions. It's the emotional processing of an ending. It's how we're slowly getting over that situation. We're dealing with it in our own way. Maybe it's going to take you longer to sort of process your feelings. That's okay. But something has ended. And I think it's allowing you now some emotional freedom. Maybe it was a situation where you didn't feel like you could be yourself, where you had any kind of like emotional security. Or where you felt maybe you couldn't be honest about your feelings. Maybe you didn't feel like you received the comfort or the support that you needed. Maybe you felt like somebody didn't care about you. I think you feel other people's feelings easily. Yeah. This is you healing. This is emotional transparency, emotional honesty, radical self-acceptance, radical self-love, self-compassion, and compassion and empathy for other people. Self-care as a strategy, okay? Rest, nourish, and go live the life. Go be happy. You have no idea how happy you'll be. You're playing by new rules now. Rules that you get to make for your life. If you don't like the rules, you're not coming in my house. My roof, my rules. You know what I mean? My heart, my rules. So I like this card. And I think that you've got to open up this energy, and you've got to just choose the things in your life that you value. If you don't value them, stop choosing them. Okay? If they're not good for you, they don't resonate with you, you have no connection to them, don't let them, things, doesn't have to be people, anything, don't let it drain your energy away. Or don't let it prevent you from becoming the person you want to become, or having the emotional experience that you want to have. Let's look at the mystery card. Maybe the Hierophant. I'm kind of feeling it should be some good water energy. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. Oh, 6 of Swords. Yeah, perfect. Sailing away from the nonsense. Not sticking around to fight. Not trying to prove anything. You're planning your trip, and you're going on your trip. This is you moving on to a better restaurant, getting off that desert island, going to where you really want to make your life, you know? Looking at things objectively, looking at the facts, and planning your route. Yeah, planning your route. You're moving on toward smoother waters, calmer waters. Okay. And, you know, I think that there's always a little bit of doubt, or, you know, a little bit of insecurity, maybe, a little bit of second guessing, some worries. But you're doing it. You're pushing yourself forward into that kind of emotional honesty and that emotional freedom, that open waters. You're getting out of the confines of wherever you came from, the little river, the channel, or from the shore. Or maybe you were tangled up in, I don't know, fishing nets or something. You've gotten out of that, and you're pushing yourself toward calmer waters. The open ocean. Toward your refreshment, your healing, your self-care, toward love. I think this is a blessing. Clear thinking and strategy and a plan and honesty, okay? It's taking you in the right direction. Now, we're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Taurus Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.